yesterday I was not able to contact the stream. I was planned to contact the stream yesterday, but due to a technical problem in MSFS, the problem still continues, but I'm flying anyway because our destination airport is somehow not loading in MSFS properly. When I am setting the aircraft at a destination airport and loading, trying to load at the destination, the aircraft is not spawning in. It's like stuck in the loading screen for quite a long while. On the departure and the other airports is working fine, but our destination airport seems to be stuck. So I think I have to reinstall the MSFS. We'll do so after this stream. So with that being said, let's just start the stream. Okay, so I think you would be able to see the simulator screen. Yes sir. So today we'll be flying from Lhasa to Kathmandu. Kathmandu is also a very challenging airport with quite a steep glide slope for the descent, so that is quite challenging, to be honest, to land over there. So with that being said, let's just get ourselves going. So first I will just open up the charts on my tab. So ZULS, that would be this one, and I don't want Microsoft Copilot. Why it's opening Copilot? ZULS, and then would be also requiring VNKT charts. I think the airport will not load at our destination properly because it's not loading. I mean, I have tried to see if the destination Kathmandu loads properly, but the terminal building seems to be stuck in the loading process. So I think we won't be able to see the terminal buildings, but if we can see the runway and the tarmac, then we are fine with that. Okay, so let's just get ourselves going. First go to the first officer side. I'm practicing from the first officer side, therefore like I just want to do it from the first officer side as well. Okay, so first things first, we'll do the security and safety inspections. So first things first, we'll verify that parking brakes are on, speed brakes are retracted, flaps are retracted. Now on the weather radar, let's set it to calibration, weather terrain hazard, tilt is fine, GCS off, multiscan auto and system off, predictive wind shear off. It is verified. Now engine master switch are both off and engine start switch selector is on the middle position. Now wipers, verify that they are off, and on the lights verify that all lights are off. Okay, so with that being done, let us verify the battery voltage. So they are above 25.5 volts, so we can now engage the exterior power. I mean, can avail the exterior power. System will start to boot up. Self-test begins and the aircraft will slowly come to life. Fire switches are illuminating one by one. Let the system to boot up first. You can actually engage the batteries as well because the battery voltages are fine. Battery 1, battery 2. And now with that done, we'll see if there is anything on the recall. Let the system first boot up properly. warning messages are gone, so we'll press and hold recall for 3 seconds. 1 2 3 4 5, and everything seems to be normal. Okay, so with that being done, let's first turn on the APU, but before turning on the APUs, we'd also have to align the IRSs. So let me verify if the brake pressures are okay. So accumulator pressure on green, and the brake needle pressures are on the green as well. So we do have good brake pressure. Okay, now verify the date. Seems to be correct. And then we can finally turn on the ADS, but let me first input the flight plan. Okay, so I think I don't have the SIM brief connected. Just wait a minute. Okay, I have to mute this because I have to also enter my SIM brief account. So therefore I will open up the browser for a moment, and then I will just hop onto the stream again. Wait a minute, why the hell it's not showing the browser screen here? It's not showing the browser screen. Okay. I would be able to see the browsers, so I will go in and just input my SimBrief account. Wait a minute. Okay, nice. So I have entered it, so now I can switch back to the, and I also do have the flight plan as well. So just verify that our departure and the destinations are correct. ZULS to VNKT, and we are at gate number 19. So departure gate 19. We'll see about the departure and the arrival, but let's look onto the weather first. So go again to pilot briefing, and on the weather WX briefing, if you go, so this is the weather area, and we are not flying inside of the weather area. So not much of a weather. There would be some turbulence due to the terrain, but without that there's nothing much. Okay, VNKT, scattered clouds, QNH is fine, 8 km visibility, so quite good weather actually. And there is a thunderstorm incoming, but it's on 29th. It was reported on 29th 109, so that have already passed, so we don't need to worry about it. Departure, 10 km visibility, quite good weather as well. There's only a this one is reported at 21, so it's not current. This one is also not correct. Okay, so I don't have the weather for our departure. Well, that's why seems fine, not a big issue. Just one thing, we need to take in the weight. So zero fuel weight, takeoff weight would be 64.7 tons, 64.3. So we'd make the calculation based on this 64.3 departure pref. And I think which runway, let's see which runway they are currently using for the departure. So we'll go to the flight radar 24, and just see which runway they are currently using for the departure. Yeah, it seems like they are using runway the other end of the runway, so they would be using runway 10 left for the departure. Seems like they are using 10 left for the departure. So that seems our departure preference runway 10 would be taking it to 10 left, and runway conditions are dry, as you can see, it's all dry. So packs would be off. No, packs can be off, to be honest. Takeoff confidence and takeoff weight, we're calculating with 64.3. It's quite a high altitude runway, so we'd make sure that we have the APU on. We'd be putting packs up, but with the APU on. Okay, so winds variable, we'll input just variable, and current temperature outside is, let's see, can't have any temperatures right now. Okay, we'll do that a little bit afterwards then. Let me see it on the windy. So Lhasa, where is Lhasa? ZULS, Lhasa, and there you go. So temperature around 7 degrees centigrade. So just input 7 degrees QNH, standard ISA conditions 1013. And calculate. Wind is not valid. 000 0. No, it would be valid. Okay, the thing I need is the TOPL wet. So TOPL is 85.5 and we are at 64.3, so that's well inside our limit. That seems good. Now we'll start loading the aircraft. So we'll go to ground services and toggle the jetway to connect it with the aircraft and open up the doors. Then we'll start the boarding. Real time, and that will start the boarding process. Okay, seems to be good, and we'll go outside and just verify that the boarding process is started. Okay, that seems to be starting up just about now. We'll take some screenshots. Let's take some screenshots. It seems so great. Okay, we'll go outside again. Now we have to start the APU. So before starting the APU, just verifying the engine oil quantity. This is also already showing the engine oil, so we don't have the FADEC to be turned on. 16.5, I think it's quite low, to be honest. Well, refill. I would like to refill that. Where is the maintenance page? Ground services. Seems to be no maintenance page. Wow. Maintenance. that's we want. Maintenance, and that would, I think, refill the okay. So let us start the APU. We're requiring APU, so we'll go to the APU page and just first test the APU fire button. So with test the APU fire, so press and hold. Discharge is showing, fire lights is illuminating, and we can also see APU fire master caution on the cam and audible master caution warning. APU fire test is completed, so this seems to be working fine, so we can now start the APU. Master switch on, 1 2 3, and start the APU. Okay, so we'll put the navigation lights to 1, and we'll put the no smoking signs to on. Now as they are loading the passengers, it is better to just arm the emergency exit signs lights. We have to arm that before loading, but I mean, I forgot that, so can't do much about that. So now as the APU is starting, flaps have been opened and N1 and EGT is rising. So we'll wait for 3 minutes before engaging the APU blade, and it seems to be counting. So with that being done, let us also align our ADRs. So ADR 1, then 2, and wait for some seconds, and then 3. On battery seems to be good. Step 1, and would put it on status, so it's taking 7 minutes. It will take 7 minutes to align. That seems good. Also on the cam you can see RS aligned get at the 7, I mean in almost 7 minutes. Okay, so with that being done, RS would be aligned, so we'd go and initialize our flight plan. So let me verify that the engine the hydraulic fluids are on good. So you can see they are on proper condition on the green bar, so that seems good. I want to just turn on the FADAC first. FADAC would be somewhere around there, I think. That seems good. So we'll also turn on the FADAC. I mean, turn off the FADAC, obviously. Oil quantity is a little less, to be honest. I think it's should be on 17 watts, the minimum requirement. It's quite low, to be honest. Hydraulic, nope, not that one. They would start refilling the engine oils, I think. They should start that. They should start that. Okay, plus 7 degrees temperature seems to be good. Now as we don't have any current QNH of our departure, what we're gonna do, we're gonna adjust the QNH. So departure elevation, I mean the airport elevation is almost 11,715. So it's currently showing 11,500. So we adjust the QNH so that it does show 11,700. And that seems to be good. Okay. So let me see how much. Okay, so now then after that we'll just initialize the flight. So INIT request. Now accuracy downgrade, that is because we don't have the IRS aligned. Okay, ZUL is VNKT, company route is none, and our flight number would be our call sign. So Bravo Tango November Bhutan Air. Bravo Tango November 774774, and then put that, and our cost index, let's see. So cost index is around 15, and cruise flight level would be flight level, let's take 340. So flight level 340 minus 45, that looks good. The weather briefing and just verify that the temperature is indeed 341 minus 48, and it's showing minus 45. So that is also, it's not much, so you can take that. Okay, now zero fuel weight. Okay, so we're gonna input it as they are loading. So we'd input it based on our flight plan. So 57.8, 57.8, and we'd input the center of gravity a little bit later, but block fuel we'd take the same. I've also already loading the aircraft and I've taken the same fuel. 6,737. We'd make the calculation based on 6.7 tons. 6.7. That seems to be good. So we'll go to the INIT page again. Now for the flight plan, our departure would be from 10 left. And do we have any departure? Let's see. Direct departure to Romeo Kilo Zulu. Direct to Romeo Kilo Zulu. Where is Romeo Kilo Zulu? Let's see. Chart. Romeo Kilo Zulu doesn't have that waypoint. Okay, well, if we don't have that waypoint, can't do much about that. So I mean, we'd be facing, we have to go and face the opposite. I mean, after the departure we have to turn 180 degrees. So we'd be taking Q2 Delta departure. Q2 Delta departure. That would be our departure. Okay, so I think IRS is aligned. IRS in align. Nice. So make sure that now we are on PPOS. It will show the coordinates. Okay, seems to be good. Nav accuracy upgrade, that is okay. And you can also see after the departure we'd make this right hand turn and come towards the I mean fly over it of the airport. Minimum sector altitude would be around 22,000. So once we are above 22,000, then we can go direct towards the next waypoint, which should be this thing, Romeo Kilo Zulu. So once we are above that, we can just go direct to Romeo Kilo Zulu. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so with that being done, we'll wait for the loads to be loaded, but I mean I will set the initial altitude to 22,000. That's the MSA, and we'll also input the fix as well. So let's go a little bit up. And we'll go to the fix info page. Now reference peaks would be around LXA VOR. So Lima X-ray Alpha, and first radial would be 260 minus 180. That would be giving us somewhere around 160 minus 80, so 80, 080. And the other radial would be 160 minus 180. We can also plus 180, so 160 plus 180, that would be 260 plus 80, so that would be somewhere around 340. So 340, and on the other hand there would be a radial of 065. So let's just first input the fix as well. So radius would be standard 25 nautical mile around the fix, and there you can see the fix as well. Now let's zoom in a bit so that we can see it better. Okay. So there you can see on this sector particularly the MSA is around 20,700, and there would be another radial. Wait a minute, let me just input the radial first. So LXA again, Lima X-ray Alpha, and the second thing would be 065 plus 180, so that would be giving us 165 plus 80, so that would be somewhere around 245, standard 25 nautical mile radius. Okay, that seems to be good. Yeah, that was the radial I was looking for. So in this particular sector the MSA is around 20,100, and on this sector it's quite high, so it's around 21,700. So once we climb above 22,000, then we'll be clearing the ground well above that in this particularly 25 nautical mile circle. So for our immediate return, we'll just go straight ahead, follow the valley up to Delta Mike, and then we'll turn, and then I mean we would also have to climb to 22,000, because to come and go on the next valley, there would be a next valley just inside of this particular zone. So to go inside that valley for the approach again for the our departure runway 10 left, we have to go inside that particular valley. I mean cross this valley to that particular valley, which would be just beside of us. So to cross those valleys we have to climb to 22,000 feet before like crossing the mountains. So once we get into the valley, we'd do the non-normal and then the normal checklist, and we'll come back then. That would be our engine out procedure. Okay, so passengers are almost loaded in, so that seems to be done. Everything is particularly done. We'd make the calculations a little bit later on, because I have to make sure that we do it with the weights. 1021. I mean, we can also use flight directors. Yeah, we would be using flight directors. No worries about that. Okay, so as we have already passed 3 minutes, we'll turn on the APU bleed. Quite low temperature, so not a big problem. Passengers won't feel anything warm inside the cabin. I mean, we have to heat up the cabin, to be honest. Okay, let's do the pre-flight. Cockpit preparation checklist. So from bottom to top, left to right. Supply, extinguish any white lights. Seems to be good over here. Seems to iris is also aligned. Now on the lights, we'll put the strobe lights to auto. Everything seems to be good. We'll put the seatbelt signs on as well, as the passenger is finished loading. Start the fuel pumps after a minute. I mean, after loading of the fuel. Now on the mic and voice panel, will start to record the 3 VHF. Now here we also listen to the cabin PA, and also VHF2, same on here, VHF2. And we'll set the VHF1 on the first officer side and VHF2 on the captain side, 121.5 and VHF1 on 12.1. That seems good. Okay, now on the base panel, QNH should be 1021. 021. Seems good. And radars are off. Brake accumulator pressure is good. Seems to be good. Everything. Okay, seems to be good. Everything seems to be good. Nice. So aircraft is loaded. Nice. We can actually disconnect the GPU as well. Okay, so with that, we'll insert the winds. Okay, and now we'll do the calculation. So we'll first write down the width. So we'll go to the ATC menu. Sorry. Menu. Don't need to do it right now. Received messages and we'll load the current one. So zero fuel weight will be around 57.8. 57.8. Takeoff weight would be around 64.3. and packs 145 plus 6 packs. Okay, so 151. And on the next page, zero fuel CG is 32.4. Takeoff weight CG is 30.7. Fuel in tank 6719. That seems to be good. We'll do a performance calculation. Departure 64.8. seems to be good. And 30.7, 30.7. And we'll also input the current QNH 1021. Calculate based on that. V1 136, rotate 136, V2 is 139. That seems to be good. Set that. Go return. UC menu, INIT page again. Then we'll go to the next page. Zero fuel weight CG will be around 57.8 is already inserted, 32.4. So we'll insert 32.4. Block fuel 6.4. 6.7 looks good. And now we'll go to the pilot briefing again. So our alternate fuel, I mean the minimum fuel is 2.4. So let's see, we do have that one. Chip time is looking good. Final would be 2.4. Yeah, about 2.4. That seems to be good. So landing weight would be 61.3. So based on 61.3 we'd make the calculation. 61.3 runway 20. That seems to be good. And let me see which runway they are actually talking about. So that should be runway 20. So runway 20. No, we can't take that. Runway 20. We can't take that. Possible to take runway 20, to be honest. Won't be possible to take runway 20. Okay, so they are departing from 02, so we'll also take 02. Meta. Landing weight would be, what was the landing weight? 61.3. 61.3. So it would be possible to land, and we'd be landing with medium outer brakes. Flaps full of thrust on. So that seems good. Block time, so PT block time is 0131. That seems to be good, and current time is around 0710 0708. We'll be departing in about 0715 to 20. Okay, I forgot to connect on iView. Wait a minute, let me just quickly connect on iView and VATSIM. What the hell? Okay, so our call sign is BTN 774 and aircraft code is actually A320. Okay, it doesn't have Royal Bhutan. No, doesn't have Drukair as well. So what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna fly with Airbus. That seems to be good. Departure arrival is very close, so once we are departing with and on the climb we would be preparing for the arrival as well, to be honest. It's very close. Won't be getting much time to okay, so so with that being done, go to the flight plan again, and I'm not setting any engine out set on the the FMC2 or FMS2. The secondary flight plan we have to also tune in the immediate return in case of engine failure. I'm not going to do that today. So with that, let's welcome our passengers. Hello passengers, this is first officer speaking for the flight deck. Welcome on board in this Bhutan Air flight 774 from Lhasa to our destination, Kathmandu International Airport, or which is known as I think Tribhuvan International Airport. Total flight time for today would be around 1 hour and 30 minutes, and we're currently standing at our gate and waiting for our taxi clearance. Once we get that, we'll start pushback and then taxi towards our takeoff runway. We'll check V10 left for today. Current weather at our departure is looking to be great at 07-degree temperature with clear skies and a few winds as well. Expect a pretty good departure from here. It's a very high altitude airport.
climbing 12 nautical miles in front of landing runway
and once we are at a certain altitude, we'll start directly proceeding towards our destination. Please remain seated, fastening on seatbelts during the entire takeoff procedure, and once we climb to a safe altitude, we'll turn off the seatbelt signs. Please keep in mind, as this is a high terrain airport with surrounded by high valleys, therefore you can expect a bit of turbulence during the departure and the arrival as well. So please remain seated once the seatbelt signs comes on, and please listen to the safety instruction for For the more details, it's not just for your own safety but the safety of your fellow passengers as well. So with that being said, welcome on board again, and we'll call you once we get landing. Thank you. Our departure, I mean our taxi. So with taxi facing north, face north on Charlie 2, and then taxi via Charlie 2, Bravo 1, Alpha 1, cross runway 10 right, and hold short at Echo 1. Hold short Echo 1, left. Okay, and our departure, that's the taxi chart, so that would be on page number 7. And our departure is actually Echo 02 Delta departure. Runway 10 left. So runway 10 left. Sure. Transition is 24,000, almost 25,000. Our departure is, I have written down all the departure. We have done the I have accident preparation, takeoff configuration check. Okay, with that, so do have everything, so we'll just input the takeoff performance directly to the MCDU, and that it get imported. On the real aircraft they can't do it, but it's obviously a simulator, you can directly import it from the sim, I mean from the EFB. So down 0.5, flaps are 3, down 0.5. Flex temperature is 46. Let me just verify that. 46. Engine out acceleration 13,220. That seems good. Transition is also looking good. 24,610. Okay, that seems good. Go to the flight plan. Let's start the pushback. Let's call the other traffic. Let's see if there is any traffic right now. So Lhasa traffic, Bhutan Air 774 pushing back facing north from gate 19. Lhasa traffic, Bhutan Air 774 will be facing north on Charlie to Lhasa traffic. Okay, that seems to be good. So let's start the push back, to be honest. Start the beacon. And seatbelt signs. Turn on the fuel pumps, and then we can go and start the pushback. So ground surfaces, connect the duct. Off, brake pressure 0. Start the pushback, and once we cross the red, we'll start our engines. Side stick, calibrate null zones. Real quick.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
Okay, they have already started the pushback, so we'll do that a little bit later on.
Lhasa traffic, Charlie Flight A320, taxi via Alpha 3 Bravo 3 Bravo, stand 6.
Bravo 3 Bravo to stand 06. So that seems good. So you won't be facing my way for sure. I don't have the FSTL traffic install. I have to reinstall them as well. Therefore I can't see those liveries, but here we are, can't do much. Stop the pushback. The parking brake, and now we can start our engines in sequence 2 then 1. Let's just start our engines, monitor the engines. Okay, transponder, as we are flying from the first officer side, we'll set that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft.
Predictive wind shear.
Thank you.
The auto, and system would be 2 as we are flying from the first officer side again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following
once
safety
the avel
procedures.
signs comes on,
The safety card found in your seat pocket
start
contains
engine
important
number 1.
information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position, which you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you.
That seems good.
Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seat.
Okay,
We
so let
recommend
me
keep
announce it to
fastened
the other
at
traffic.
all times. If the air supply fails,
Lhasa traffic Bhutan Air
masks drop from
774
above.
taxiing to
Pull a mask
departure
towards
runway
you to start the
10
oxygen.
left
Put the mask
via
over your nose and mouth.
Charlie 2 Bravo 1
Normally.
Alpha 1, cross
Hold
runway
the mask
10
in
right
place
and hold
with
shut
the
at
strap.
Echo 1 runway
Pull
10
on each
left.
side
Lhasa
to
traffic.
adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your
So
seat.
we do have good engine start in both
From the
engines.
pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tapes
Switched
around your
off.
waist and click together. Pull the strap to adjust.
And once
Do
we
not
get going,
inflate the life jacket
we'll perform
inside the
the
aircraft. When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can
Max
assist you with life jackets for children.
and we'll set
Your tray
flaps
table
for our
must now be
takeoff.
stowed. armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. Further information regarding your safety on board can be found in the in-flight magazine. We hope you have a great flight.
We can also turn off the packs. Or we can also turn on the packs, but we'll turn off the engine plate. What the hell? Why the aircraft is tilting towards left, right? So for that, we do the flight control check. Yes, the rudder seems to be a little bit deflected on the right. I do have some problems on my flight control. Let me just quickly tune that one real quick. Yeah, do have the problem on the flight control as I've guessed. Just too much problems. Facing too much problems. Recently. Still not recognized. Why? Yeah, now it seems good. Okay, so that would now start to taxi properly. I think so.
Cabin crew, seats will take.
Before crossing, we'd verify if there's any traffic. So it seems like none. Increase the thrust a bit. So turn on the high altitude landing. Lhasa traffic Bhutan Air 774 crossing 10 right. Okay, approach area. Left clear. Right. Clear. Crossing runway. And takeoff config. No blue. departure is as briefed. Follow the SID, climb to 22,000, and for the engine out, would maintain, follow the valley and climb to 22,000, then go to the other valley. It would be a visual maneuver on the way. Cabin crew, please prepare for takeoff. Lhasa traffic, Bhutan Air 774 entering 10 left, departure via Iku 02 Delta departure out of runway 10 left, initial to 22,000. Make sure we use the full runway. For the departure, sir, takeoff config, no blue. Takeoff checklist complete. We will reset the clock. And there you go. So let's just get ourselves going. 40% in one. Mama, please. No, they cannot. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Man flex. 46 SRS. Runway auto thrust blue. He's not there. SRS auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Acceleration is slow due to high terrain. The air is quite thin over at these altitudes. Maintain the center line. V1, rotate.
Too low, terrain.
Positive rate.
Too low, terrain.
Get up.
Too low, terrain.
That was quite close takeoff, to be honest. Then the speed climb. Speed check. Laps 2. battling with the winds. Nice. Nice and easy. Okay, speed check. Laps up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelts fastened while the seatbelt is on. We recommend you keep your seatbelts fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each
Okay, we'll fly manually.
Remember, you can not whistle at any time.
We can fly manually. I'm enjoying flying manually.
Use the chance to choose from a fresh selection available today. Details can be found in the brochure. Use purchase selection, beverages to get the drinks and snacks from the car. We accept all major rest
Start
hotels.
the
We can leave just after as we join the brochure.
nice and easy. Just passing 20,000. Okay, very long range pallet 2. That's a sticker. Climb. Okay, get towards our cruising altitude. Practical 340. As we have passed 22,000, therefore we can go directly towards our next waypoint. So, Romeo Kilo Juliet, so direct. Juliet, set. takeoff. Track. So you can also turn off the blue. Signal signs as well. Oh, the initial climb was so slow. I got scared during the initial climb. It was so slow. I didn't expect it. The rotation will happen that late. Yeah, going
하나交通수 3.1순위가 발생했습니다.
hesitant and we have to circle to land. And there would be quite a high terrain. Not gonna take that. We have KMT 21G arrival. also do want to include this fix. We just put in the 10 nautical mile circle, the 25 and the 50 nautical mile circle, that's all. So let me just do that and show you while I'm doing it. We'll go again to the fix page, info, and our fix would be around the airport itself. So VNKT. Primary heading, type in 10 nautical mile. Next, then automatically angle, type in 25 nautical mile. Next, again the nautical angle, and then into 50 nautical mile. Now on the 50 nautical mile circle there will be two radial. First one will be 282. Let me just open up the calculator because there is a lot of radials to be inside. So first one will be 132 and the second one 282. So that is already calculated. We'll also put that on the previous page. This is the 25 nautical mile radius. So there will be two fixes only. First one would be 255 and 130. And then next one 255 minus 75. Then there would be a big radial as well. So the big one would be on the 50 nautical mile circle. Next page again. Next on that again. That standard. Now that would be 50 nautical mile, not the standard. 25 is the standard one. And the radial would be 6. And the other one would be 110 minus plus 1 minus 0. These are the all fixes. Now if I go to the plan view, now you will see airspace. Okay, so particularly on this sector, we have to maintain above 28,400 on this particular sector. We have to maintain that particular one. On this sector, the MSA is around 11,800. This one is 10,700. And yeah, the 10,700 in this whole thing. So I mean for a missed approach we always have to escape the valley, so we need to turn right as soon as possible to escape the valley because we can't go there. There are quite high mountains over there, so right as immediately as possible and then go towards this hand side, left hand side. Okay, sounds good. The flight plan and let's do this one is limited at around 0600. This one is the correct one, just reported. So winds are 130 at 08, 8 km visibility, few clouds 015. There is also some cumulonimbus clouds there as well, scattered, 25 degree, 30 degree dew point. So I think we'll be able to see the runway, but this due to the scattered and cumulonimbus clouds, little bit nervous to be honest. Expect the visual condition to be reduced very soon. It's like towering cumulonimbus clouds now. Very scary. So I won't be flying into them. If I see a cloud and we are flying into that particularly cloud, if we follow our own navigation, then I will just put this one to the heading mode and then avoid that as much as I can. Now for the arrival, if I go a little bit downwards, yeah, this one is the localizer request into arrival. So localizer identifier is India Kilo Tango, frequency 108.1, final approach cruise is 022, and our MTA is around 4,880 feet for all type of aircrafts standing landing. 4,860. So the localizer is actually starts from the glide slope actually starts from around 11.5 DME India Kilo Tango and India Kilo Tango, and initial glide slope you can see it's quite high, 5.31 degrees. So we have to be with our gears down or configured for the landing before and after approaching Lhasa, because then would be having much less time to configure our aircraft and the speed would be climbing very soon, because it's a quite high glide slope, and around 5.5 it reduces to the normal glide slope around 3.0 degrees, and then afterwards 3.0 all the way towards our landing. So interception will be happen at around 9,011.5 DME inbound India Kilo Tango, and Udas would be at 11,500, because there would be this mountain that we need to cross, so we can't descend into that. We can't descend to 9,000, that's for sure. Or else we have to particularly this mountain, that's like 7,680, and it is happening just in our way. It is coming just in our way. And for the arrival, I think it would vacate via Bravo, and in worst case scenario always via Alpha. We will be able to vacate via Alpha because the landing distance available is 3,074 meters, and we'll be having to use around 1,789 meters. That means that we'll be able to vacate via Bravo, if not then via Alpha. We are approaching over. Okay, so let me just put the landing calculations to the landing page again. And our approach QNH would be 117. Temperature currently 25 degrees. Maximum winds are 130 at 08. But get a recent report, to be honest. Let me do the landing calculation first. Position level is 2150. And when we take it config full, the landing barrels are 4860. We take a little bit extra. 4,900 extra. 4,900. That seems good. Then I'd like to get the speed below 50 knots to be honest. I'm on 8640. I would like to get the speed to 50 knots. We are almost approaching like the mine. I don't see the other two figures. Yes, it is. This one. There is indeed one traffic right now. Beautiful mountains over there. And you can see these mountains where I'm talking about. That's why the MSA is around 25,000 because the airport is situated somewhere over there. And if you fly straight ahead of the airport in a missed approach, then it will be just colliding with those mountains. That is why we have to make those sharp turns. Let us also brief about the missed approach. So for the missed approach, we just gonna fly straight ahead, maintain the runway heading, and it's dark day and we hold there at dark day, maintaining max 230 knots and 30,500 feet. And we have two inbound medium viewer above 7,500 followed. Okay, that's it. Next approach line gradient is around 5,000 meters, so that's quite high, 5%. It's quite high. That seems good. It is brief. We now start the approach. Current temperature at our destination is around 25 degrees centigrade with quite a good visibilities of 8 kilometers. There are some reports of sudden rain that can happen, but overall the current visibility seems to be fine with few winds from few winds of 08 knots and a temperature of 25 degrees centigrade as I have said. So we'll be arriving from the mountain side, that is runway 02 to land, so you'll be able to see those beautiful city views while we are arriving, and the primary descent at our destination is quite high, so you'll be you'll be feeling quite a bit uncomfortable during the descent, but that's quite normal during this particular approach. You can expect also a bit of turbulence as well, as we will be flying on top of those mountains. We will be facing some updrafts and downdrafts as well. So once the signal signs comes on, please remain seated fast in the seatbelts during the entire landing procedure, and once we are parked the aircraft at the ground, securely we will turn off the signal signs and the activity will start shortly. We'll inform you about the recent weather after we land, and until then please enjoy those views. Thank you. Approaching our top of descent in about 20 nautical miles, we'll start our descent. initially to flight level 170. Let's see if there's any recent beta. Current time is 0818. So I think we'll be able to squeeze in inside this beta report. That seems good. That seems good. Let's just announce it the traffic. Kathmandu traffic, Bhutani A774 expecting localized runway 02 to land via 22 Romeo arrival for runway 02 Kathmandu traffic. Okay, now we activate the approach phase. Confirm active. No, still maintain the speed please. We can fly at 260. Okay, we'll verify with our navigation data. That nav page. Verify it with the charts. Price is 02, 108.1, course is 022, slope 310 degrees, and the KTM VOR. Put in the course 288, and the second one we'll put in the course 022. That's all. That seems good. Flight nav page again. Speed, descent, star altitude, flight level 170, navigation, and minimums are set 4,900. Also see the localizer. I'd like to see the localizer as well. So we are inside that 50 nautical miles circle. This seems to be good. Descending quite beautifully. Ratan would be flight level 138. Airport is centrally established at Ratan. Flight level 150 is our transition. Okay, India Kilo Tango. Equalizer identified. After passing 20,000 feet, we just increase the size. Would be at 10,000. So quite high to be honest. Let us get some speed brakes. I would like some speed brakes to be honest. reducing the speed a little bit earlier because like it seems to me that quite high, but the aircraft doesn't think so. Quite a bit of confused. Now the plane will start to descend rapidly. Yeah, yes, it should. Okay, now that seems good. We'll also turn on the signal signs. Kathmandu traffic Bhutan Yard 774 inbound Rattan, and we're expecting localizer 02 to land after KT2 when we arrive in Kathmandu traffic. I need some speed brakes really. I am fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, shortly be landing. Please ensure cabin bag is safely stowed on laptop. Tray table must be stowed, armrests down, window height.
Okay, crossing
Down underneath seat, seatbelt fastened with red
Is
cord.
it the local clinic?
Please note, when handing in any rubbish, usually magazines, do not keep. The toilets will no longer be available. Thank you.
That seems good. It's good. Speed is also reducing. Wanna maintain 230 for now on. And concentrate on the descent first. After Rattan, just go to the arrival. Capacity says 11,000. I mean, don't need speed brakes. Now we are inside the 25 nautical mile radius circle. Almost. Not really, but almost. Okay, that seems good. And now we are almost on the profile. Udas. Now let's start configuring the aircraft. Speed, and some. Speed check. That's one. Because the 5-degree glide slope is coming up, therefore I am configuring. Just idle, open descent, nav. Speed brake. Direct approach mode. Next approach would be 10,500. It's already in there. So just check. Still. Going to manage speed mode. Okay. It seems about alright. That seems about alright. After Guras, there would be quite a steep descent after 14.5 DME. Around there, somewhere around there. It will be quite a steep descent after that. Check flaps 3. And also put landing gears to down. Kathmandu traffic, road area 774 established on final, currently 19.4 DME. Inbound to land Dallas runway 02. Correction, inbound to land localizer runway 02. Okay, let's just go to 9,000 now. So configure our aircraft for the landing. We will hold at 9,000 before crossing that mountain. After crossing that mountain, we will be descending below.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
9,000. And we will now hold at 9,000. Speed, all star, localizer. So after the after crossing that particular mountain, we're descending at around 13,100. So let's redeem that. 13,100, and we'll start the descent at around 11.5 DME. Still not arrived there yet, and we are crossing this mountain at 9,000. Look great. 13.4 DME seems to be good. 6.5 DME. After that we'll be descending at around 743, so that would be like 700 feet per minute to 800 feet per minute. 0.8 DME looks great. 0.5 DME looks great. Little bit increase the descent rate. I want to capture. DME, right? 5.5, yeah. 5.5. Little bit above the profile, so keeping the corrections coming in. 6.2 DME, 6.1 DME, 6.0 DME. Is the descent rate. And we're at 5.5, so reduce it more to around 800 feet per minute. Okay, now anytime we would be disengaging the autopilot, as we would be able to make visual contact with the runway. Okay, visual contact, disengage the autopilot. And let's fly it down manually. Perfect. Little bit high.
100 above. Minimum
Continue.
500.
Little high.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Reversers. Bit floated there. Reversers green. Spoilers up. Cell. And we'll be bracketing via alpha. I was able to take that previous exit, but I'll be just a little bit more cautious.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access may now be used. Please make sure you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead lockers. Do take care opening the overhead lockers, as items may have moved during flight. Smoking is not permitted until
Okay,
you
that
reach
doesn't
the
seem like 8
designated
kilometer
smoking
visibility,
area.
but
On behalf
fine.
of the captain and the crew, it has been our
Can't do much
pleasure
about
looking
that.
after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your journey.
little bit floated, but okay, not a big issue. I forgot to turn on the landing lights. That's okay. Laps up. The predictive wind shear to off, and system to off as well. And now let's turn on the APU. Wait for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Turn on. Okay, let me look into the chart. So now taxi via Foxtrot. Beautiful airport, it seems. Quite a few aircrafts though. Nice. Exit. Turn a little bit afterwards. Start the turn. Outside, there's no marshal art. Huh? I've already turned off the. Okay. Forgot to turn off the wing lights. A beautiful livery. Bhutan Airlines. it's a little bit inclined, so therefore like the engine is I mean we are going back without the engine thrust and applying parking brakes. Okay, so that seems stop the clock, and with that we can now turn off our vehicles. We would also turn on the equivalent as we have already passed 3 minutes.
Cabin crew disarm doors.
Commence the deboarding of the beacon. Stop. Okay, that was good. I would like to request the cards. Going to the Phoenix ground services, doors 1. Follow the stairs as well. Let's go and take some screenshots, and then we'll see the landing. I've recorded the landing, so we can see that after the deboarding is finished, obviously. Brake temperatures are good, not even above 100 degrees. That is very good. So the next leg I would be teasing you, but the next leg would be from Kathmandu to Lukla. Now all of you guys may know that Lukla is considered one of the world's most challenging airport for any pilot, and it's also quite challenging to land over there. Why this truck seems to be like I'm closing into the truck. Is the truck is moving towards me? Okay, it is gonna get inside of me, to be honest, and I don't want that to happen, but it does. actually uninstall and reinstall my sim after this, because this airport is not loading up properly, and without it loading up we can't complete our next leg, so I have to reinstall and install the sim again. That sucks, but can't do much about that. So I'd just do a fuel check. So fuel on board is 3.5 tons. If I go see how much was our estimated fuel, that was 3.9, so we have consumed 400 kgs more fuel. That's okay, that's not a big issue, but like we have consumed more than what we are expecting. It's a thing to consider. And then also what we're gonna check is we're gonna check the IRSs. So how much the IRS have deviated, that's we're gonna check. Go into the I-90 page, IRS I-90. Not on this one, but on data, and there's IRS monitor. That seems good actually. Seems good. Reviews are now supplying. And we also do have exterior power, but not right now. Not gonna turn it on right now. I think the passengers are all deported. Yeah, passengers are all deported. So what we can now do is actually we can see our landing. So we'll see that, but beforehand just disconnect from the IVO. Don't want to mess things up. Now let's see my landing date first, because the other day you all guys gonna say just say that I landed too hard. So it's 104. I can show the landing. It was not on the touchdown zone, to be fair, but still it's a good landing though. Flared too much, and the runway was also inclined a bit. So I was keeping the aircraft a little bit floating. We didn't want to crash onto the runway. The runway was tilted a little bit upwards, so the runway was coming towards me, to be honest. So therefore I flared on a little bit too hard harder than usual. So therefore, like, the flare was a little bit not on the point. It was a little bit too much at that particular position, but it's good. Not a big issue about that. This is what you gonna expect. I mean, you have to expect, because the runway was inclined, so therefore you have to pull a little bit hard, but not too hard that the aircraft gets to a floating state. Save the flight and then we'll see the landing. Okay, save the flight. So it's going to open up the landing. It will take some time. Loading, don't worry. It is indeed loading. It is loading. What I'm planning is to fly the next leg on a on X-plane.
Terrain ahead.
Terrain.
Pull up.
Just want to go outside. First of all, I need to configure the aircraft. Passing this mountain, you have to descend at around 1300 feet per minute. So it's quite a steep descent, therefore I have configured the aircraft a little bit earlier to get that particular descent, because I have landed here before, and it always seemed on a Boeing aircraft that you came out to be fast, I mean quite hot and high. You would be quite fast and also quite high of your profile. That's why I've configured the aircraft a little bit earlier so that I would get that time and just concentrate on the particular vertical speed and the vertical path. So I configured the aircraft a little bit earlier. Yeah, this is so good, man. This is so great. The people that do this in real life are truly great. You can see those mountains that almost extend. These mountains almost extend to 25,000 feet. So therefore, the MSA is, if you fly straight ahead, the MSA is quite high, around 25,000 feet. So during a missed approach, you have to just climb at around 3.0 dme. You have to outbound Kilo Tango Mike. You have to make a sharp right hand turn to not enter that particular valley or not crash into that particular valley. And it doesn't seem to be the what can I say, the visibility is around 8 kilometers. Doesn't seem like that, to be honest. Visibility is quite low, around like maybe 3 kilometers. Yeah, it is greater than 3 kilometers, around like 6 kilometers or something like that. Certainly not 8 kilometers. And now I'm concentrating on that particular like glide profile, getting that particular descent rate around 1,300 feet per minute, which is quite high obviously. And once you get to 5.5 dme, you can reduce the glide rate to around 700 to 800 feet per minute, which is a 3D glide slope as well. So I was concentrating on that. The descent rate around 700 to 800 feet per minute. Normal descent rate, to be honest. And you can see the runway as well. Now as I am visual with the runway, I've been disengaging the autopilot, so you will see some rapid movements. That's quite high, to be honest. Now you will see the corrections coming up. Now almost on the profile, a little high, but I'll make the corrections. Small inputs. Therefore my taxi, I mean the visual reference point inside the cockpit is a little bit not good right now, but I will make sure it gets better over time. This particular visual point, like it seems like I was on say the taxiway, the center of the taxiway. My nose wheel was on the center of the taxiway, but you can see it's a little bit on the right hand side of the particular taxiway. This like visual references all depends upon the practice. So quite familiar with the 737, but not on the A320. Now that's all. Like, that's all. Okay, let me show you the departure.
Too low. Terrain.
The aircraft will start to shout. That's quite normal. There you go. The stair is coming up inside the why there is ram air turbine. the whole runway. Oh god. That was not quite what I wanted. But still. Takeoff was not like quite good. I hit the localizer. End the stream. Continue back to my home page. So with that, flight is done. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Next one would be from Kathmandu to Lukla. That is, Lukla is also quite challenging approach as well. So we'll try to land at Lukla. That's all. Let me just once try to load in at Kathmandu. You can see the problem after this. If I try to load in, I will see that the last point it will get stuck. See, get stuck, just stucks at around 75%. It will never load now. It will remain stuck in like for the rest of the time. It will just remain stuck will not get loaded. It's a bug basically, and I have to install the sim for this. Can't do much about that, so we have to restart the sim. And with that being said, that's all that I can offer. We'll see you on the next leg. And on the next leg, we are flying to Lukla, so therefore we will be flying a narrow body. I mean, not a narrow body, a turboprop. Maybe, probably D6. Probably. I'm not sure that though. So goodbye. Ending the stream.